Fund managers say they've seen a sharp increase in the number of pension fund members inquiring about the two-part system. Some fund managers have recorded scores of people visiting their offices. Some of the workers that spoke to SABC News have said that they need the money to pay their debts, among others. There are concerns that fund managers may not have the capacity to deal with the high number of pension fund members inquiring about the two-part system. Some fund managers are advising members to give the process a week or two before coming to claim from their pension funds. Since Monday, all of the country's retirement fund managers have been inundated with calls and online inquiries from members who want to access their pension funds. Some are now visiting the fund's offices. Long queues were seen at some of the fund managers' offices around Johannesburg on Tuesday. Financial difficulties facing workers seem to be the main reason for accessing the two-part funds. Let's now bring in COSATU's National Pension Coordinator, Mahlangu. A very good evening to you. Thank you for your time. Concerns have been raised that fund managers may not have the capacity to deal with the high number of pension fund members inquiring about the two-part system. What observations are you making and noting on your end?
Good evening, and thank you for inviting us. Firstly, let me deal with the issues raised by fund managers. Look, this journey started in May 2020. It has been postponed once or twice. The last postponement was the effective date from March 2024, and it was now September. Surely, there should have been an indication of preparing and making sure that, we're ready when this day comes, because eventually this day was going to come. But part of the question, yes, we have seen pockets of queues around the country where workers are, carrying application forms to apply. What that says to us is that indeed, the decision of COSATU to engage government in NATLEC that, let's allow workers to access a portion of their retirement funds was a good decision, because what this shows is that people are indebted, and therefore that's why there are these queues. But I think we could have done better across all of us, in that, for example, there's one, administrator who reported to us yesterday that as effective from last month, they started allowing members to apply on their own system, which was online. And they did not wait for the 1st of September. What they did was to say, let's allow thousands of workers to apply and see how the system was going to work. Apparently, as of Saturday, in the region of 36,000 people have, not applied but logged in just to make sure that they are ready. Yesterday, 11,000 applications were received, and they've started paying, I think, about 20 yesterday, to the extent that SARS was able to provide them with tax directive. They paid. And today they were saying thousands of them, 1,000 applications were with SARS. They're waiting for SARS again to provide them with tax directive. As soon as that is done, they will pay. To those where there are delays, I think what we can do under the circumstances is to allow them to get their systems right. But I think it cannot take weeks, because we knew that this day was coming. We knew that the two-post system was now the law. And we knew, by the way, one of the reasons why there was a delay in March is because administrators said, we are not ready, and we understood. So surely, I think now we just need to make sure that we would have expected that as from yesterday, with the examples that I'm making, that everybody is ready, but we just need to calm down a bit and just allow the process to run and make sure that come the end of September, for example, every glitch, every challenge is sorted out and people are able to say, I've applied for the two-pot system and the money is now in my bank account.
As you and I speak this evening in Ntate Mahlangu, some pension funds and administrators are yet to fully to comply with the full requirements, which means even if members apply for a withdrawal, their request will not be processed. That in itself speaks to the lack of perhaps depth and questions that are still in the grey area, wouldn't you say?
I would be extremely worried because we've been having meetings with the Financial Sector Conduct Authority and the Association of Fund Managers weekly to make sure that we move together, and if there are challenges, we address those challenges, etc. But with regard to the question you are raising now, I'll be worried because clearly that will be a demonstration of non-compliance, and that will be very, unfortunate. To that, I would say to those workers, please, to the extent that in law you elected trustees, approach your trustees, ask them, why do we have that situation? That's the first thing. Secondly, we will obviously, because we trying to check what is happening throughout the country, as early as tomorrow, we'll contact the Financial Sector Conduct Authority and say, to the extent that this is the law, is a requirement, what is happening with these pockets of fund managers who are ready? Is it because they don't want to implement the two-pot system, or are there any other reason? But there shouldn't be any reason from where we're sitting, because this is the law and all of us are expected to comply with the law. Again, the Association of Fund Managers, they were working with us. The intention was to make sure that we deal with all of these issues. I would appreciate on their part that they will not, represent even those who might, for whatever reason, they are not complying with the law. We will also call on their part to say, can you talk to your own members to make sure that they comply with the laws of the land? Because retirement funds are deferred wages of workers. There is no reason why they shouldn't have, acted in a way that assisted workers and be ready and make sure that comes the 2nd of September, since the first was on Sunday, and they are able to start paying.
Is there any sort of accountability, or are we just, is this a matter of playing it by ear at the moment to see what happens and, all the teething problems, whether or not they're, rectified, and giving the administrators a bit of a chance to get their ducks in a row? What sort of action would be taken, and perhaps looking at the time frames, would you say would be under consideration?
I think I would say the two scenarios. The first scenario would be those where the fund administrators, they've tried, they've complied, but generally there are teething problems. And I think those they should be addressed because it's not intentional. The second scenario is where there's blatant non-compliance, and I think insofar as that is concerned, the law must play, its part, and I think there should be consequences on the part of the Financial Sector Conduct Authority, and trustees were elected by members to act in the best interest of members. Why would you appoint me as a service provider if I'm not going to provide you with the services that you require? And that, to me, talks to trustees who must be able to hold those administrators, accountable. From our side as COSATU, as the initiator of the program, we will also, add our voice and make sure that we assist where we can. And on the part of the Financial Sector Conduct Authority, we'll make sure that also as the commissioner, as the regulator, they play their part. Yeah. But it cannot be at the expense of members, because what that may do, it may create a situation where people might think that, this thing's not going to happen, or they don't want, and end up creating unnecessary tensions and problems which could have been avoided or which could have been, resolved.
Yeah. Very well. Thank you so much for speaking to us this evening. COSATU's National Pension Coordinator, Mahlangu. Thank you for your time.